What's good, YouTube? Here we have my roommate Billy Break, and a lot of people on the channel have been asking about his Blue Eyes deck, and for more explanations on how it works and what it actually does in the format. So Billy's decided to sit down here and help us out and decide to go through the deck with us.
All right, yeah. So ABCs came out, and like in the OCG when ABCs came out, Blue Eyes like completely disappeared off the map, and I understand why, because like the deck does have a rough time with ABC Buster, but if you do different things, like it's still like somewhat competitive. But this is the Blue Eyes deck I would use post ABC, pre INOV.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
I'll start with the most important monster. 3 dual terminal preview Blue Eyes White Dragons. Always gotta have these. Do I just put them away to the side?
Yeah, whichever way you want to go.
All right. 3 Blue Eyes Alternative Dragons, because sometimes you need to summon Blue Eyes. Nah, this card's really good. I'll go through like simple stuff with combos with certain cards I use later on. 3 White Stone of the Ancients. Card's amazing, except when you draw multiples. 3 Sage with the Eyes of Blue. Obviously, this card's amazing. A lot of people love summoning this card. Like when I summon this card, it's like a last resort kind of thing for me, or I want to get a Veil or something. But I'm more so a fan of the like in a hand effect, because I focus on making rank 8s as opposed to like level 9 Synchros like a lot of Blue Eyes players. 3 Effect Veiler. I don't know if like any 3 or 2, but this card's actually really good against ABC because they overlay for Bujinte Tsukiyomi, search the sea they need to put in their grave, and then they activate effect. Sometimes when you just Veiler that Tsukiyomi, like the game just ends, or Veiling a gadget at times. So yeah, I'm trying 3 out. So it's also obviously going first as a 1-star light tuner, which is just what you need in Blue Eyes. 2 Maxis, because I think this card's insane in Blue Eyes. If you just have like an Azure and a Maxi, like they're not going to kill you probably, and your card's just amazing.
So do you typically, the typical Blue Eyes player now seems to want to go second and often pass. Do you choose to go first or second?
I would choose to go first because like as you'll see, I'm playing like cards like Goliath and stuff, and I try and go first and just summon a bunch of dragons or my opponent can't play, and obviously like you have soul charge and stuff, but like it's good to have these cards for going second because you don't win every die roll, but I would still choose to go first every time because I'd rather deal with no field as opposed to Buster, anti-spell, hope I drew Twin Twister. Like yeah, I'd always go first because I can make 5 monsters turn 1. Let's see, 2 Dragon Spirit of White, card's amazing, except to draw them, but there's a solution for that, just like anything. 1 Arcbrave Dragon, 1 Amorphage Goliath. If y'all haven't figured it out by now, like if you can make a rank 8 turn 1, you can summon, you summon both these guys, and during your opponent's standby phase, you summon this guy, which says neither player can summon monsters from the extra deck except for Morphages, which, like, there aren't that many.
I was actually at Minneapolis. We like sat one seat apart, literally. And this guy summons this on me, and I was like, "Did you learn this from the channel?" He's like, "Yep," and I was like, "Yep," and I couldn't out it completely because like he had emptiness also.
Yeah, it was. Some people used this like right before Alternative came out, but then just dropped it completely because obviously drawing them is not that great. But this guy's a level 8, and if you draw him, you can still discard him and then bring him back with Return of the 2 Dragon Lords. And if you draw this, you need to like draw Melody or something, and it can bring back anything. It can bring back Crystal Wing. Yeah, they're still just fine, and if you like, someone would ask like, "Well, what if you banish 1 off Desires?" Well, then I guess I just like don't have them in my deck, so it's a normal Blue Eyes deck now. But they're really good. I think this card's the only way to beat ABC, like because if they open up their turn 1 board, tag out their Buster just because they're playing around a Kaiju, like no matter what, you're probably not killing them, and then they have multiple Busters to come at you with, and like 3 or 4 rank 4 monsters. And this guy's just Vandy's Fiend for them, and they can't deal with Vandy's Fiend's monsters a lot of the times, especially if he's like backed up behind return. But obviously they have Gam Seal, and if they side like the Ring Dragon Raw Sphere mode or whatever. But I think it's really solid. Obviously drawing them is not great, but that's why we play more than 40 cards, so we don't draw like our bad one-ofs.
I'm guessing because of Jaugen, I've started to see ABC also start to main deck in some builds Book of Eclipse.
Yeah, Book of Eclipse also is like it's okay against this deck, but if you have like when you summoning this guy, you have like 3 other dragons usually at least like. So they'd still have to like, if you have a return, they still have to get through it and like deal with everything else you have, which they can do. But yeah, Eclipse is pretty good. But this deck is like one of the most like one of the decks that can deal with it because you have a bunch of guys, so you're at least probably going to be drawing a bunch of cards. It's hard to clear this guy, and a lot of times they can clear this guy, but they can't deal with the 4,000 attack over monsters twice guy, Galaxy Eyes. And they can't deal with just Blue Eyes White Dragons. Like, this guy's just the bonus that they end up having to spin cards. They always spin their cards like, I got rid of it. And they're like, oh, I just lose to your Azure. I just lose to your Dark Matter. Like, that's just the way it usually goes. But 1 White Stone of Legend. If I played Cards of Continents, I'd play more, but I don't. 1 Master with the Eyes of Blue. I see people not playing this card. I don't understand why not. It's amazing. Like, It turns in, if it's in your graveyard, you can shuffle. People don't know what it does for some reason, but it's like the opposite of Sage. If it's in your graveyard, you can shuffle back into your deck, target an effect monster on the field, send it to the graveyard, and summon a Blue Eyes monster from your grave. So that's Dragon Spirit White, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon that you summon properly, or even Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon if it's in your grave. You can summon it back with this. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to tribute it out because it wasn't Synchro summoned, but this card's amazing. And if you normal summon it, you can add back a Light Tuner. So if you just summon Sage effect to get Master, Synchro for a 9 pass, on the following turn you can summon this, get back your Sage, and Sage your Master down into, let's say, a Dragon Spirit White effect, banish your opponent's back row, treat my Dragon Spirit White, summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, normal summon my 1-star tuner, effect to Master, shuffle him back. Well, like if we'd already summoned that turn. I'm just saying, there's like a lot of different combos you can do with it. It's just I would play it in every Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, and I think the only reason people don't use this is because they don't understand like how to use it. And then one Glow Bulb. Some people don't play this card, but this card in Sage is whatever you want it to be. It also works really well with this card. Yeah, I love Glow Bulb. I don't know why on earth you wouldn't play this in Blue Eyes. Then to the spells. 3 Twin Twister. I was already playing this card before ABC, but it's also just really good. The best top 2 decks, like popular-wise, would arguably be ABC and Magispector. This card destroys them. Like, in-phasing your opponent, Twin Twister, discarding Ancients, pop 2, summon Spirit, banish your other one, can just win the game. Going second, you need this for, like, anti-spells and stuff. It stops Hanger. It's just, all around really important, I think.
It's so funny that people playing anti-spell get so mad at this card, but everyone's so mad at anti-spell already that like whenever you flip it on them, they're like, oh, you had the out, and then this card flips.
Yeah, it's what you guys always. But when the one YCS Toronto, when I played Domain for the first time, like I would go first, open Domain and win because I couldn't deal with Domain, and then they like, man, if you didn't have Domain, man, the things I would have done to you. I'm like, yeah, if you'd gone first, you would have had 3 Beatrice, 2 back row, and like. But I just have a Domain of the Monarchs, and that's gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? The 3 Beatrice is fine, but Domain, just can't play my deck. Well, yeah, if you go first and make 3 Beatrice, I can't play my deck either. It's the way all decks are. Like, you just have to construct your deck rights to deal with cards like that, and not like complain when it happens. Like, if it's the same variable, like a chance of happening, and then it's gonna happen. It's variance. 3 Melody Waking Dragons. This card is amazing. Like, except drawing. The problem with the deck is drawing too many Blue Eyes and stuff, and drawing too many of these with your Blue Eyes. But that's why this card that I play 2 of is so important. Ancient Rules. No one uses this card. Everyone makes fun of me because of this card. They think it's a -1 for some crazy reason. But like when I build like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, I like try and think like, oh, what's wrong? Why am I losing? What's like causing my problems? And in this deck, it was drawing too many Blue Eyes White Dragons and not be able to do anything with them. Like, and with Stone of the Ancients, you always have a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. If you activate this card, like these 2 cards is the combo right here. Like I'm tempted to play 3 of them, but obviously it's not always live. This is just a rank 8. Like, search for 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, summon alternatives, special summon Blue Eyes, rank 8. That's 3 monsters on your field, including Goliath, a 4,000 guy who can attack twice. Plus, if they have a board, like, activating this to summon Dragon Spirit of the White, and then banishing a back row and they have a monster, you can chain, like, the effect to dodge something, special Blue Eyes from your hand, activate return to your Dragon Lords, like, and you just keep going, and it's just another enabling card, it's really, really good. I wouldn't play Blue Eyes without it. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to skip to the next card. 3 Pot of Desires. I don't know what to tell you about this card.
You're never scared of banishing your combo pieces?
I mean, if I have a way to like get Blue Eyes out of my deck because I don't want to banish 3 Blue Eyes, like I will, but it's like unlikely to happen. And obviously, if it does, it sucks. But Pot of Greed, like I mean, yeah, no, banishing 10 cards is whatever. Like the odds of you hitting 3 of anything are low, and that's the only time this like can hurt. Like obviously, I don't want to hit my Master, I don't want to hit my Glow Bulb sometimes, but like you just deal with it most of the time in situations like. If you didn't have those 2 cards you were drawing from this, like it would have been worse. You would have been worse off than having some card you didn't actually have in your hand banished. Yeah, I'm glad people finally like see the light on this card for the most part. It's just ridiculous. 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. I don't know what to say about this card. Like if I lose with this card in my hand, I'm upset because this card's so good. It's a monster reborn that lances all your dragons. Like. I don't understand what they were like, let's give him a Monster Reborn and then we should give it something else too. Like, I don't understand, but yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragons, this card's insane. It also brings back a Morphage Goliath, so like in the worst kind of hands, trade in Goliath, draw 2, activate. Like now you have a Goliath that can be protected. Like, okay, that happens. 3 trade in, don't never draw this card enough. It's the best card in the deck, Pantheism basically. 1 for 1, oops. Because, all the 1-star tuners, it works really good with Master and Glow Bulb. It gets cards out of your hand, which is important sometimes, like discarding an Ancients or, like, all sorts of stuff. And then 1 Soul Charge, I mean, Yeah. Another reason why Blue Eyes has a chance, this card's like the best in Blue Eyes, and it's the only deck that has like a super duper unfair card where you absolutely cannot win the game most of the time when it's activated. Unless you're like me and just are terrible most of the time and mess this card up. You just feel bad activating it. And then one Vanity's Emptiness. Just like I said with ABC with Goliath, like being able to break their board's one thing, and Blue Eyes can do it. But then dealing with the follow-up, you need something like this or Goliath. And obviously Spark Emptiness is really good and super easy to make in this deck. I also wanted to put this guy back. Like you could cut like a third Veiler or just throw this guy in. I want to main deck this guy kind of because obviously like if you draw Twin Twister in this card and your opponent has like 2 back row and flips anti-spell, you can discard it and like with Twin Twister and pop stuff, and then you can't like really deal with Vanity's Fiends that much or Jowgins, which is why. Well, actually, yeah, I should main deck Mathematician too. Where's the Mathman for another honorable mention? He's really good. He is actually just like always in my deck, but I cut him. Well, I don't know where a Mathematician is, but I had one. Mathematician's also really good because not only can he's a Foolish Burial that can attack over Jowgin, has like a floater kind of body. When you send down Master, if you have a level 8, you can just turn Mathematician into a level 8. So this card and Mathman are really like cool, and I really like to play them most of the time. They're just not in this exact version right now. And I guess I can show you the extra deck. Oops. My sleeves are broken. 2... Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, card's amazing. Turns in, sometimes like, yeah, if I have Ancient Rules, let's say you have like Melody, well, let's see, you don't have Melody. You just have Ancient Rules, a 1-star tuner, and Return of the Dragon Lords, right? You can just Ancient Rules out your Blue Eyes, summon your 1-star tuner, Synchro for this guy, effect, pop him off for this guy, Spark Dragon, then return the Dragon Lords back to your level 8, the Blue Eyes, overlay for Dark Matter Dragon, which is like what I love to do in this deck. So I most of the time, if I'm just making Spirit Pass, which is what a lot of other Blue Eyes players just love to do turn 1, like that's one step up for me, just like set Ancient, set a back row your turn. Like I don't like trying to do that. I like having 5 monsters, not just this guy, but obviously he is really good. But if I ever have more than like 1 monster, more than just him, just some other dragons, I always try and just tag him out, draw phase for Zero to protect my guys. Because having like a bunch of dragons that can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, including like a Dark Matter and a Goliath or something, during your opponent's turn and your turn, like it's just insane. Like the monsters just can't be killed. It doesn't matter if they have effects or anything. You just win the game because of this card most of the time. And then, let me explain what I just said about, like, people are like, oh, but you can't summon this with this because of Goliath's effect. You can't supposed to summon Morphages. But, like, during your standby phase, if you have this guy out, and then you, like, effect of Archbrave, target Goliath, you can chain his effect, tribute, special summon Azure, and then this resolves, special summoning Goliath, and then I'm pretty sure this guy's effect resolves as a mandatory trigger, protecting everything. Yeah, a lot of people don't know you can do that, and it also protects, whatever else you have on the field. And then, so I play double Azure Silverized Dragon because, like, how awesome I think it is. Like, it doesn't come up, like, too often that you need the second one, but when it does, like, you absolutely need it. 1 Spark Dragon, some people only play this for Spark Emptiness. I mainly play this just because it's a level 8 that I can tribute this guy into, and like I said with that play where you just have 1 level 8, you still want to make a rank 8. He's good. 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon. This is a card that a lot of people don't play in this deck. Obviously, it's going to be good now because you can pop Hanger, but that doesn't come up too often. Mainly when you go first and you just contribute this to summon him. You use this effect to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand, so you summon a 1-star tuner and just Synchro straight for Crystal Wing. And so, like, you can summon Sage effect, get Master, special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon or an alternative or whatever you want. And then Synchro for 9, tribute into Ancient Fairy, and then you search for whatever your Master effect, special summon Master, Synchro for 8 for this guy, and then if you're able to like do other stuff, like you can just easily, you have the Master to make another rank 8 and do all sorts of stuff you want. Let's see. So then we have the Synchros, 1 of these guys, 1 Black Rose Moonlight Dragon to finish it up. Make this guy less than all the other cards, but it's obviously the defensive card you can tag into a Spirit. Let's see. 1 Hope Harbinger. I make this guy mainly when I just have Soul Charge, but obviously his effect's insane. Protects your guys from battle and can negate spells. But having this guy and Goliath, sometimes they can attack over Goliath and you can just redirect your attacks to him, which is really important sometimes. Let's start with the beginning of these guys. 1 Galaxy Eye Cypher, and then I play 1 Prime. A lot of people don't play this card. He's a rank 8 with just a basically a 5,600 attack. He does have damage, but that's whatever. He can get really big and crack over stuff. And since I make Dark Matter turn 1 a lot, I usually use this guy, and then so I can overlay with him and still have my Cypher to take one of the guys later. And then if it's an Exceeds monster, I can still put full armor on the guy I take. But yeah, then I play 1 full armor, 1 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. I don't know why this guy destroys a face-up card on, like, I think it's opponents, but a face-up card on the field, like, yeah, I don't know why they gave him that effect.
Yeah,
why not?
Ball's going up the tree.
And he's also 4,000, like, so you make this guy, you can make this guy next turn pop. I've done that a lot, and these guys are just game. It happens a lot. One drag-along is really good in the mirror. And also there's some hands where you can just summon this guy for free and then make another rank 8 and have this floating body. Because he summons a guy from your hand, and then they have to, if they deal with the rest of your board, he just has another effect to start your turn off. But he's super solid. There's also like a combo, well, not that good of a combo, but let's say you have like Melody, so you Melody for like alternative, and you have like Blue Eyes alternative, and return the 2 Dragon Lords. And like say your opponent has a monster or whatever, you can just special alternative, pop their monster, Ancient Rules out your Blue Eyes, overlay for this guy, uses effects, detaching Blue Eyes or alternatives, summon the Blue Eyes from your hand, and then return back, and you have 9,000 damage right there, which is really important. And one Alcay to try and, skip time walk my opponent if they're playing like, Metal Foe, and you can catch them on a counter, put counter on top of their deck, and then they're just done sometimes. And it's also just spot removal with a huge D. And you can also just hope that you hit like the cards you want. But yeah, I don't have a side deck built either, but I can tell you, if I was in a side deck, I would probably have 3 System Down, 3 Ghost Sherries, 1 ABC Dragon Buster, 1 Dante, maybe a Phantom Knight Breaksword, maybe an Omega too. Is there anything else that's important? Pot of Avidity when it comes out. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't built a side deck for this deck, but
So basically, Ancient Rules is the enabler that this deck needs in order to be able to do more, and it's what it's missing. It's what a lot of people try to like hope for Soul Charge for.
basically, yeah. I'll have. There's so many. I can't tell you how many times like people will walk by and I'll have like 5 monsters and they're like, "Oh, you do Soul Charge?" And I'm like, no, I just drew Ancient Rules. Maybe Ancient Rules in return, and that's 5 monsters on the field. Like, I can't understand why. The only reason I think people think this card's not good or don't do it is because they just haven't tried it. Like, the fact that Melody in this card is just so good. Like, it's not like, let me explain how it's not a minus in case it's not clear. Like, these 3 cards, well, it's 2 if I have Melody and discarded something. Just special summon, activate. Like, what? It's real simple. All right, check this out. So then you can overlay. Check it out. You have 2 level 8s. And then they make a rank 8, and then you just put another guy on top of this guy. And this guy, all of a sudden, that 2 cards that I just lost, there's 2 monsters that are coming to the field directly because of this guy, plus whatever Ancients is adding back on the following turn, plus one of them's Goliath. And that's just with 1 Ancient Rules and Melody. Like, and that it's the thing that every Blue Eyes deck is missing to me, and the thing that like every Blue Eyes deck is missing is a good turn 1, and this guy like makes that possible. And obviously, like you're trading off like maybe consistency in your deck, but even drawing them, it's not like completely terrible depending on what else you draw. And we're playing like, I think this deck is 44 right now, so like the odds of drawing 1-0s is a little less, but drawing like 1 copy of a 3-of is like increase without drawing multiple copies of a 3-of. I think if we went to 45, that would actually like change the odds a lot more for not drawing a 1-of, but not so much of drawing multiple copies of 3-ofs.
All right, we covered a lot. Any final notes as we wrap this up?
Yeah, no, just when you're building a deck, like don't just give up on the deck because like it's not working like the way like you think it should. You're not winning with it. Like try and think about what's wrong with it and fix it. Maybe try something new. You never know. You might like come across gold, or you just switch to the next deck and just keep switching decks every 2 weeks.
All right, thanks, Billy.
Be sure to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and check out some of these other videos that you can click on.